share my screen. Okay. Okay, let's get an update from everyone on the team as usual. Let's start with Michael. Michael, are you here?
Yep. So I've been working on fixing some of the performance issues that we found when testing the sharded network. So I've got 2 pull requests open, one right now. One to fix where we were checking the same signature over and over again, when obviously we only need to check it once. And the other one where we were applying block over and over, even if it was still missing chunks potentially. So those are open. Bowen has helpfully left a comment about the way I'm doing the pruning in the cache there, and so I'm going to fix that today. But that should be pretty straightforward. So then after that, I guess I'll move on to one of the other issues that we opened recently. That was a performance related thing, maybe one of the ones about cloning or something like this.
Yeah, I think looks like it looks like you're making good progress there, and I think maybe after fix some of those, as you said, there's a few more. Maybe after we fix those, we can go back and run the test again to see if this helps at all.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's everything from you, right, Michael?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, Piotr, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. So I've been working on a couple of things. So first of all, I've been working on adding the performance metrics to our code. So for example, this allows me to see how much each actor is being used. And for example, on the Google Cloud, I see that during the sync, the client actor is used in around 80%. And I can also see whenever there are like any kind of, I get basically a message every time there is like some kind of spike, and processing a message takes more time than needed. And that's useful for debugging. For other clients, for other actors, I didn't really see much spikes. And basically, I see that most of the usage is just on this one thread.
Okay, so are you only measuring? So are you measuring CPU usage only, or is there something else that you measure here?
Well, I'm measuring CPU usage, but I could combine, if we wanted to, I could also combine this change with the one where we measure the memory, and in theory, we could even measure the memory used per call. If we wanted to, but it's
yeah, I think.
But it's also I will have to combine it with another change.
Yeah, let's not do that for now.
And
yeah, so I mean, what happens when
a few hundred times that there was basically like a case where it would take more than a few seconds to process.
Yeah. I think we'll talk about that later. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. What was I about to ask?
Oh, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I think I was. I wanted to ask. Oh yeah. So how does? So I assume you measure this per thread, right? But what happens when multiple actors are in the same thread?
I mean, that's fine, because what you need to do is you need to measure everything. You need, if there are multiple actors, then I am tracking right now. I added basically the wrappers that go around all the actors that we have, and they will be measured together. So I have a stat that basically this thread, how much it is being used.
So their result would be the same, right? So if there are multiple actors in the same thread, they would show the same thing.
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, it does.
I don't think
basically
that's
the ratio of CPU utilization. Basically, what I am doing is printing like the ratio of CPU utilization per thread.
okay.
But
Yeah.
then I also, in order not to show, for example, the peer threads, which usually don't do anything, then I added like I'm only printing the threads that are at least busy at least 2%, because there are like we have a lot of threads, like the peer threads that I don't know, don't show that much. I think,
Right.
I mean, the change I think it should be good as it is. The only thing that I want to change is to move printing to one thread, a separate thread, and print everything at once every minute. So
Well, that would be great.
I mean, that should be easier, because right now I'm printing from every thread independently. I mean, this also has the advantage that if I print from every thread separately, then I wouldn't need any kind of locking. But then it shouldn't take much time to lock, and if I do the locking, then I can print everything from one thread, and then it's easier to view the statistics. But there of course, there's some downside as well. So what else? I also was working on improving my tools so that I should be able to take a look right now and see why those other threads, where those other leaks are coming from. So basically, I added also storing the stack information whenever an allocation happens, and I should be able to take a look. I will take a look today and see why those two memory leaks happen. So now it should be easier. I basically added like a variable, so you can specify how much, how big stack you want to store with each allocation, which is sometimes it's not needed, but for this case, I wanted to distinguish between different places where the allocation happened. So we should be able to see. I will also make a separate change, because I also noticed that for me it was impossible to tell how long the sync is going to take place. So I we just had a change where basically we print the number of blocks that need to be downloaded instead of percentage, because if it's like 98, I saw an issue that we would see like 98% for hours, and then I don't know exactly whenever we are actually stuck or making progress.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And the same with the headers, that I might also wear this change. I made this already change into one of my public requests.
But let's do that as separate.
I'll make it separate and just make a pull request today, and it should be useful for debugging.
Yeah. That's a very good point, especially that when you have like 20 million blocks in the network, 2% is actually a lot. So yeah, I mean, sometimes people sometimes 1% takes like a long time, but 1% is actually a lot of blocks.
Yes, it just depends. Sometimes I saw that anyway, that should be useful. Will be a small change. I mean, also started doing the deploys by building on my own machine and deploying them to the directly to the Google Cloud. That's more efficient. Probably, I don't know if we have scripts for doing that. Maybe I should also write
for doing what?
Well, basically what I'm doing is building locally on my Ubuntu and then deploying directly to the Google Cloud machine. Otherwise, it just takes too much time. But I don't.
So it's too slow to build on the Google Cloud.
I mean, it takes like a factor of 3. Even if I locate, let's say, get a machine which costs like $400 a month, get 8 threads, then it still takes like 3 times as much on my machine as my machine, right? But then I could also I don't really need 8 threads to run the node. Our node needs like 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 4 threads should be enough for the machine. And then I could, on that machine, I would be building like 6 times. It would be taking like 6 times as much to build.
Okay.
Anyway, probably maybe I should, but I don't know whether.
I mean, we can
create some scripts, or maybe you already have something.
I think, well, if we really want, we can do some like, basically what we do is like we would spin up a temporary node that's very powerful, and then that's only used for building the binary. And then after it's done, we transfer it to some other node. I think, Sandy, do we already have like some playbook for this kind of operation?
Not really for just spinning up the machine and tearing it down after the build, but that's something we can easily add. We have something very similar. I usually do this. Usually I have a dedicated machine just for compiling. So I have a dev server which I just reserved for working, and I use that. But I can create like some kind of playbook for doing that.
I mean, like I don't think this is a priority. Like Piotr, for now, I think you can like.
I mean, for now, I just
like
wrote
copy,
my own script. I wrote my own scripts that basically set up the machine and that build things locally and upload it. So for me, it's fine. I have my own scripts. It's just I don't see. We don't have.
Just reserve a dev machine and just use that machine. I think that's fine.
You mean create a dev machine on the
and just use that as your development environment, and then compile there and test there. I think that's fine.
I don't think. I don't think we need to discuss it here.
Anyway, it's fine. Anyway.
Okay. So that's everything from you, right, Piotr?
Yes, that's okay. I think that's everything. Unless you have, well, there is just one more thing, because the way that I wrote the change to measure the, so I wrote the change to measure to add the performance metrics by adding the wrappers on top of Actix. But I mean, it's also possible that I missed a couple of things, that it might be better. It probably would be cleaner to just modify the Actix and to just make sure that no places are missing. But we should probably talk about that offline. Maybe it's good for now to just have just the wrapper, a partial wrapper that only wraps some of the functions, not everything. Maybe that should be enough.
I don't think. So also there are not many actors to begin with, right? It's not like we have 100 actors.
No, there aren't, but we also have some actors, like for example, wait for timeout, that we create this. We create this actor, we put some data in there, and then we call like a start method on it. And what happens is internally a new actor gets created and it gets added to the list of futures that get executed on the current thread. I am now, and if I had to also take all of those places into account, then I would also need to modify even more places in the code.
I don't think that's really needed. I think the approach you're taking now makes sense.
Anyway, I can create a function that wraps around it, but I didn't replace all those places.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Misha, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on your side?
I sent the pull request for that orphan approvals change. I hit some weird bug with state syncing yesterday.
Well, that's actually header sync, right? Or what?
It's like right after header sync.
Yeah. I still have no idea why that's happening. I've never seen it happen before, so well.
Yeah, and I got a couple new issues, and I'm still trying to investigate the thing.
So have you looked at the new issue about the cache?
Oh, and that issue as well, yes. So I've got this. Yeah, the cache storage working.
It shouldn't be difficult to fix, right?
Yeah, I think we should fix it by like asynchronously invalidating cache.
But like, what does that mean exactly?
Like, it means we don't necessarily do it in the same transaction.
But like, what's the like way?
We create a future to invalidate the cache, and we do it without holding other stuff in vector.
Yeah. So for the context, there is a extreme log contention on the cache in try for real clients. It's caused by it. Yeah. Misha said it's like right now the way we update cache, we actually update it when we do garbage collection, and we update both the cache on real client and cache for client. But if there is state sync happening at the same time, it will be a disaster. Yeah, especially when the state size is large. Okay. So Misha, how long do you think that would take? It seems like it's not going to be extremely trivial.
Yeah, it will be a little tricky. I think all we need is to push it to view client actor, like that, the job to invalidate it. It doesn't matter that it works there.
Okay, we can discuss this separately, but I was wondering whether there's like possibility that it got it read the stale part before you invalidate it.
You mean just allow reading stale cache?
Right. I mean, if you want to invalidate it asynchronously, there seems to be a possibility that the part that's that stale is read before you remove it.
I mean, if we decide to just not invalidate it, it's not that bad.
Well, we know it can cause the node to. Oh, it cannot. I see.
No, we just we fixed it after the test failed, but it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I think that's the solution. Yeah, that's the solution. Yeah, so that we don't have to design some complicated way to do it. Yeah, I think that seems to be a better solution. I just need to fix the test. Yeah. But also, Alex, are you here?
Yep.
So like Misha made a change that would change block header. That would make the bridge. Oh, that break the bridge. My understanding that is.
No.
No.
Well, it depends on which part of the header is changed. If inner light is changed.
No, I think inner rest is changed.
Yeah, inner rest we don't care.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we only send the hash of inner rest. So for as long as, like on the bridge, we have the hash of inner rest, and we only use it to verify that the header is corresponding to the inner light. What exactly is in the rest does not matter.
I see. I see. Okay, then that change would not affect bridge then. Okay. Is there anything, Alex? Is there update from you or no?
No, not much. Okay. So last week my biggest involvement was to help looking into the logs.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was quite helpful. Okay. Is there something else that people want to discuss? Okay, looks right now. I think we'll probably do a OKR review and next setting the and look at the new OKR for the next quarter next week. Okay, so